Nathan Zegura joins us right now on the Fan Hotline. Hello, Nathan.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Doing well. Got to start with it, my friend. What'd you think of last night?
Was there a game?
Apparently, yes. Apparently, yes. There was a game.
Of course. Yeah, look, I couldn't be happier for Joe Flacco. He was always such a great guy to deal with when he was here with us. Obviously gave us a magic kind of end of the season in 2023. And, you watch that, and that was a tough watch. Tough watch as a Browns fan, tough watch as a Browns employee. But, again, happy for Joe Flacco. He played so well, and I think that it just, weapons are so important in the National Football League, and the Bengals certainly made that investment in Jamar Chase. They made that investment in T. Higgins, and I think obviously any quarterback is helped by having weapons of that ilk, and I think you saw that on full display last night.
How do we get the Browns' weapons on the same page? There's been fits and spurts.
Wait, on the same page as what?
Just being able to hold on to the football, move this ball down the field, get in the end zone, because they've had their issues, and I hear you and Andrew, and it's like, this was close, that was close. We've had situations where guys, maybe have lost focus, or guys have been running before they actually catch it, and I know the offense is struggling, and I think it's made a lot of the pass catchers for this offense very desperate people.
Yeah, I think you got to just do your job, right? Ultimately, we did see last night the one play where Jamar Chase did drop a ball and Joe Flacco's jaw was dropped. I thought that was a hysterical visual. But, yeah, they got to do their job. This is the NFL. These are professionals. And I think everybody who's playing at a skill position, anybody who touches the football, whether you're a receiver or a tight end, when it's your opportunity to catch it, you got to catch the football. We can't keep leading the league in drops. We, have got to take care of the football. And Dylan Gabriel, if he's done anything, he's done that, right? He has not turned the football over. But we got to be better. And I think you also have to make, it's investment as well. It's investment in those positions at the highest level in the National Football League that, produce guys like that. It's not a surprise that, for every Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is certainly a rarity, the majority of the guys at the top of this league in terms of being the big-time performers at those positions are first-round picks. Nathan, and Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all of those guys.
Sorry, Nathan. When you go from a veteran to a rookie, and look, the veteran did not look good. I'm not going to make it sound like Flacco was awesome or anything like that. There was a justification there. I didn't think he was washed, though. I know people were using that terminology, but when you do that, we do wonder about a locker room, like what that means to veterans and what that means to all the coaches who had committed to one guy and 4 weeks in, you're shipping him out. So how do they rebound from that and make sure that this doesn't fly off the rails?
Win. Winning cures everything in the National Football League, and it is such a binary business and a week-to-week business. I think you go back and just this whole plan, I think, got in some ways derailed by the Kenny Pickett injury. Then you're starting a 40-year-old quarterback on a team that I don't know how much sense that ultimately, made for the big picture. And Flacco was struggling. So they said, let's see these young guys. And that's trying to get this organization a solution at the position that they have not had a solution at in forever. And so you got Dylan Gabriel out there. You got to win. That's how you convince it. I think everybody heard what Grant Delpit said yesterday, that he doesn't really know even what winning feels like anymore. And that is a tough sentiment to hear. And the only way to fix that is to go out and win. So it's everybody doing their job on every single play. And you look at a lot of the tape, and we've talked about it before, there are opportunities, but it feels like when there's plays called up and it's schemed up properly and there's an opportunity, one guy doesn't get their job done. Maybe one guy misses a block in a run play, one guy misses a block in a pass play, or the receiver drops the ball, or the quarterback doesn't throw it. We've got to operate at a significantly higher level. Right now, we're the lowest scoring offense in the National Football League. We have a streak of 11 games where we haven't scored 17 points, more than 17 points. That's all got to change. If you want to change any of this, it's got to be execution at the highest level, everybody doing their job, and then go out and win football games. And that's the only way to change this. If the Bengals lose that game 31-30, and I'm sure a lot of Bengals fans thought the way that was going to end, it's a totally different conversation from their standpoint. And that's what winning does in the NFL. It is the great panacea And the Browns have need to experience that, and they need to do it this Sunday against a Miami Dolphins team that certainly is very beatable, coming in also at 1-5.
I would say that the goal is to obviously just commit to the run with Quinshon, Dylan Sampson, Jerome Ford. I made jokes about Aiden Huntington and have him run the ball if you want to. Leroy Horde, have him run the ball if he's in town. I mean, do anything you can. This weather's going to be terrible, and it is my opinion that these guys, that Dylan starts too soon, that Shedeur will start too soon. I got to make him as comfortable as possible. I can't really put the ball in the air that much when we're talking about 45-mile-an-hour winds.
No, absolutely. I think I said it on CBD. I think I just said the name Quinshon over for about a minute straight. That's what I'd like this game plan to be. I don't think there's a number of carries that you could say to me, and I'd be like, that's too many carries. I'd love him to touch the ball 30 times in this game. And I go back to, if you go back to 2020, I don't know if you remember when we had that stretch of horrific weather in Cleveland. It was the Raiders game coming off of the big win down in Cincinnati. We had the Raiders come into town. And that game, I think the final score was 10-3, I want to say, off the top of my head. Josh Jacobs ran the ball 30 times in that game for the Raiders. The Raiders did win that one. Now, the next two other games were Houston and Philadelphia, and the Browns were on the right side of those. But to me, that's the game plan. You're going against the worst run defense in the NFL. I don't even care if Aiden Huntington plays half the snaps. Get Aiden Huntington out there, line it up. If it is sloggy, if it is rainy, if there are 50-mile-an-hour winds, just go out there, impose your will, because I think that also makes a statement and it builds an identity. And that's kind of what I was hoping for when we got that chance at the goal line. It could have at least out-physicaled for a few plays the Steelers and made a statement about that for the Cleveland Browns. Well, you have an opportunity again to do that this week, and I'm with you. I think this has to be a Quinshon Judkins game. Really, 30 carries to me feels appropriate. He's well-rested. Well, obviously, low snaps last week with the flow of that game, and run it. The Dolphins have given up over 120 yards rushing in every game, one of only two teams in the NFL to do that this year. They're giving up nearly 6 yards a carry, 170 yards a game on the ground. Feed Quinshon Judkins. And if there are some opportunities off of that eventually, to get some play action, some easy ones, go ahead and do that. But this has to be a game where the Browns establish a physical identity. We've got to have something to hang our hat on. And right now, the one thing that's been consistent when given the opportunities is Quinshon Judkins in this running game. And I think this is a perfect game, a perfect scenario, and a perfect time to just go ahead and say, you know what, buddy, we're riding you to the end zone. We're riding you to victory. Let's go do it.
Nathan Zegura, one of the voices of the Browns. You can hear him, of course, during the game here on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan Sunday. So what did you make of the Myles Garrett / PFF controversy that, TJ Watt's brother got involved with that conversation over the last few days?
It's one of those things, and your co-host there has been anti-PFF for the longest time. I think that, look, we all have our own eyes. I think there is an eye test. I think there is a statistical test as well, not from just watching the box score, but the stats in concert with watching the game. And I think we all have a pretty good idea of what happens. Now, one of the things that's tough for me about the Pro Football Focus grades is they don't necessarily know what the coaches have asked the players to do on any particular play. And so I think that makes it very difficult for those to be accurate. Directionally, can they make sense? Absolutely. For me personally, when I use PFF, I do it for the stats. I do it for some of the tendencies. I do it for kind of more information. The grades to me are so subjective, and you don't understand, like I said, necessarily what the players are being asked to do on any given play. You can have an idea, of course, but I don't get necessarily involved in those controversies. I think that, if you are J.J. Watt, for example, I trust J.J. Watt to watch football and understand what's going on, especially when it comes to defensive line play. So I think he's probably got a pretty good handle on it.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't hate PFF. I just got sick and tired. During the Cody Kessler time, I just got tired of us wrapping our using it as a blanket and being, we're really great when we're not. Like, that's what I didn't like.
There was one as well, I think, last week, and not just the lineman one, but Bijan had a way lower grade than a running back that didn't have necessarily a great game, and the guy produced over 200 total yards. And you're like, what are we talking about here? Bijan Robinson had a massive impact on that game. Bijan Robinson played his position about as well as anybody I would imagine could play it in the National Football League. So just give him an A. Maybe we just make it easier. Yeah, A, great performance. Good job. You helped your team win.
Like, before they come out, like, you give your grades, and why can't we just get together and go, okay, what's this versus this? Oh, we have that. Okay, well, we should bump up Bijan because look at what he did. Like, fine. it's all there for. I know that they actually work with some teams and things like that, but if it's there for those purposes, fine, whatever it may be. Hey, can I go back to this game real quick? And I know we got to go because we got Devin McCourty coming up here soon. But
fine man, by the way.
I was wondering. Well, yeah, absolutely. But I was wondering here. I was a little bit surprised because I've seen other QBs. Other QBs have thrown picks and then still not thrown their teammates under the bus, but called out their teammates. And they were the supreme leader of their team. They were able to do it. Tua having to apologize after his coach ripped him for saying what he said. Boy, man, this is a long time coming. This feels very forced leadership that's not there, that's not capable. You do have an opportunity on Sunday here because this has turned into something ugly here between Tua, his team, and Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, and I think that's really what happens in the NFL when you lose. When you lose in the NFL, everything is magnified, everything becomes fractured, there's finger pointing, and things become frayed. If you're winning in the NFL, it covers it all up. I said it earlier. That's why it is so important, and I think winning is so important to your culture, because when you win, you're able to kind of navigate some of these things and row in the same direction. When you're losing, nobody likes to be associated with losing. Nobody wants to be the reason that there's losing. And so that leads to what? Human nature, unfortunately, which is a lot of finger pointing. And that's, I think, what's happening right now to some degree in Miami. Yes, if you're the Cleveland Browns, this is a game where you've got a team that is very much on the ropes. You yourself are on the ropes. You're at home. You won the last time you were at home. I think if you look at this weather, if the weather is what it appears that it is going to be, that favors us. Devon Achane is one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League, but he's 5'9" and 190 pounds. He's not a mutter. He wants to play in domes, play on fast tracks, run around, make you miss as a runner and a receiver. We have a team, I think, that can be tough in the trenches, that's got Quinshon Judkins, who is that kind of power back, and we've got to go out there, grind out this win, and then get on to the next week and try to build some momentum. But it's so important, I think, in front of the home fans, because we all know it might be a little unruly there. The way to quiet all that, the way to quiet all the noise around this football team is to go out there and win on Sunday, and I think that's what the Cleveland Browns have to do.
Nathan Zegura, find him on Twitter at Nathan Zegura. Nathan, I'll talk to you Sunday morning. All the best, bud.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Nathan Zegura on the Fan Hotline.